You think you know Baker Mayfield. Lavonte David says you don't, and he's got the receipts from inside the building. For years, Baker's been one of those names that splits a room. Some people see the flag planting kid from Oklahoma, the commercials, the jawing with defenders. Others see the #1 pick who bounced from Cleveland to Carolina to LA and figured the noise meant the story was already written. But then Tampa happened. He walked into a locker room full of vets who'd seen everything: rings, rebuilds, and every kind of quarterback. And according to Lavonte David, the voice guys listened to down there, what Baker brought wasn't bravado, it was work. In a new interview, David pushed back on the old narrative and basically said, "You've got Baker all wrong. Not a diva, not a finger pointer." He described a guy who's early to meetings, late out of the building, owns mistakes out loud, and takes every hit without blinking because if the quarterback is tough, the huddle's tougher. That's a big statement when it's coming from Lavonte. He's not a hot take machine. He's the vet who made a career out of doing the hard, quiet stuff, and inside Tampa, his word travels. When a captain type vouches for your character, that isn't PR. That's the kind of thing guys say because they lived it, and we all saw the turning point on the field. In Tampa, Baker wasn't playing hero ball every snap. He cut the giveaways, kept the offense on schedule, and let his playmakers work. He helped the Bucs win the division, won a playoff game in convincing fashion, and for the first time in a long time, he looked like a quarterback with a home instead of a rental car. The cameras don't catch the film room at 9 p.m. They don't catch the mid-week install where a QB is rewiring a protection with the center or walking a rookie through a side adjustment for the third time. That's the stuff Lavonte is pointing at. The details that make a team trust you in October and love you in January. Why does it matter right now? Because reputations can harden into concrete, and what a player did at 22 can follow him at 29, unless the people who are actually there break the mold. Baker's not just the Bucs' quarterback. He's a tone setter on a team figuring out its next era. There's also the Tampa timeline. Post Brady, this team could have faded. Instead, with Todd Bowles riding a defense-first identity and the offense in transition, Baker gave them an edge. Not the billboard kind. The 3rd and 7 kind where a quarterback stares down pressure, takes a shot to the ribs, and pops up talking about the next play. Lavonte's defense of Baker is, in a way, a defense of that edge. He's saying the guy you think is a headline is, in reality, a habit. It also reframes the old Cleveland story. Back then, the spotlight loved the clash. Odell, coaching changes, and that city's hope stacked on one young quarterback's shoulders. It made for drama, but Lavonte is reminding everyone that drama isn't data. Teammates measure you by how you show up every day, not how you trend on a Sunday night. And look, this doesn't mean Baker's perfect. He's still fiery. He'll still bark at a sideline if he thinks he's right. There are stakes attached to this. If Baker keeps stacking seasons, the Bucs don't just stay relevant. They become a team nobody wants in a one-and-done game. If he stumbles, the old noise rushes back. The "told you so" chorus gets loud, and people start rewriting last year as a blip. That's why Lavonte speaking now carries weight. He's trying to anchor the truth while the story's still being written. It also says something about how Tampa views its core. You don't see a respected vet step up like this unless the room is aligned. You've got a head coach betting on defense and discipline, stars who've seen the mountaintop, and a quarterback who's earned their trust with sweat instead of slogans. That's a culture trying to hold. So what do you do with all this? Strip away the caricature and watch how the team reacts to its quarterback. Lavonte David doesn't need clicks. He doesn't need to defend anybody to stay in the news. If he's saying people have Baker wrong, it's because inside those walls, Baker's done the slow, boring, crucial work that never trends. And in this league, that's the difference between a narrative and a season. You think you know Baker Mayfield. Maybe now you've got to know the one his teammates see. So what does Lavonte actually see that so many of us miss? Start with the boring stuff, because that's where the truth lives. It's the quarterback who comes in on a dead Tuesday, sits with the protection coach, and walks through every blitz look he expects to get. It's the guy who tells a rookie receiver, "I'm throwing this before you even turn, be exactly where I'm looking," and then spends 20 minutes after practice repping the same break until the kid's legs shake.